Hi, my name is Chris. I have a company here in the Valley. Hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is because I have a bunch of customers and I'm looking for a few retailers that I can work with that I can send my extra business to. Is the owner available? Now, just to keep things short, what would be the best email address to send you what I'm looking for and see if we can work together? Phone call number 2. Hi, is this David? Hey, David, this is Chris. We talked on yesterday. Now, if you recall from our last conversation, I told you we were not looking to sell you any advertising. However, we have a bunch of customers, and I'm looking for a few local companies that I can work with that I can send my extra business to. Can you hear me okay? Now, let me explain how this works and what we're going to do for you. Now, David, we go into a community like here in the Valley and build a buyer's network of just 100 companies, which gives the average business we work with an extra $100,000 or $18 million for all 100 companies. Now, just out of curiosity, I know you're a retailer, but what all do you do? What all does that entail? Now, I know you get a lot of phone calls. However, unlike anyone else calling you, I don't need to sell you any advertising because my real business is unrelated to this one. I have a fitness company, a travel company, as well as a financial company. I do this to get more customers for myself because we've all heard the expression, if I scratch your back, you'll scratch mine, right? So if I help enough other businesses make more money, some of them, not all of them, may decide to send their customers my way. Now that sounds fair, right? Now, let me show you how we're going to help you make more profits. So David, number 1, we own a blog and different media channels from websites, blogs, mobile apps, and different publications. Number 2, we have partners who send us a ton of traffic. Number 3, from that traffic, we send those customers to companies like yourself. And number 4, we have a profit sharing model. So when your customers go out to eat or go shopping, you'll get paid from that too. Now, David, I don't expect a commitment from you today. I'm sure you got some questions. I'm sure you got some concerns. However, other than yourself, would there be anyone else involved in the decision of working together? Now, I'm going to eventually need some additional details about your business so I can finish putting this promotion together for you. So again, I'm going to get you all the customers you want and not any more. Now, in addition to that, our sponsors are also giving away $1 million in gifts and prizes as an incentive to get more people to do business with you. Now, our investors are then looking to invest a minimum of $50,000 into a select group of companies we decide to work with to grow your profits or start a new venture. Any questions? Okay, I'll give you a call tomorrow so I can get the details I need so I can finish putting this promotion together for you. Phone call number 3. Hi, is this David? Hey, David, this is Chris. We talked yesterday. Now, if you recall from our last conversation, I told you we have a profit sharing model. So, David, in addition to the customers we have for you, you'll also get paid when your customers buy locally. Can you hear me okay? Now, our goal is not necessarily to get you more customers, but rather help you to become more profitable. Now, I'm not sure if you had a chance to see the video we sent you with Robin Elliott, who worked with an oil change shop doing $2 million a year. However, they started giving out coupons to 10 local companies for another $2 million a year, which doubled their profits with no workload, no overhead, just 100% pure profit. Now, David, I'm not asking a stupid question. I'm just trying to make a point. How much time would it take to hand out coupons to your customers to some of the local businesses in the area? It wouldn't take any time at all, would it? However, we have a software that does the work for you. Now, David, just out of curiosity, what is your ideal income compared to what you make now? And how many weeks a year would you like to take off for vacation? Now, how many hours do you work in a typical work week? Now, David, if I could shave, let's say, 5 to 10 hours off your work week, how would that impact your life? Opinion is one thing, but cold hard facts is something else, isn't it? Now, the prestigious financial website Motley Fool showed the average household has $1,729 left over after paying their bills. Now, of course, some have less, some have more, but that's average. Now, David, how long have you been in business? And how many customers do you think that you have serviced in that time? At least 100, right? Now, let's say just 100 of those customers continued to buy from you, who spend just 25% of the national average going out to eat, shopping, and buying things they need locally, which you'll earn 50% of the profits. That means your customers are spending $43,000 a month. 50% of that is $21,000 a month. However, because of the different profit margins companies have, let's say you only got 25% of that, which still gives you $5,400 a month, or an extra $43,000 a year. Now, when was the last time somebody offered you a business solution where, absolutely worst case scenario, you could make an extra $43,000 a year with little or no extra work? But on the flip side, let's say you got the full 50%. That's over $20,000 a month, almost $300,000 a year. That's over $3 million over the last 10 years. Now, David, could you retire or buy your dream car with an extra $3 million? Now, because of this business model, I spent a couple of years living in Florida because I wanted to live my life like I was on vacation. I'd go to Disney World 3-4 times a week. Now, David, if you knew about this then and acted upon it, you'd probably be in Hawaii with a pina colada in your hands instead of talking to me. Now, you don't know me or probably believe me at this point, but I've helped dozens of companies over my career to do an extra $1 million in just 90 days. Heart and Dental didn't believe me either. However, we added 3,200 new patients to their practice at an average of $2,000 per patient in just 90 days by using the customers of several high-end beauty salons. Now, I went through a divorce a little while back, and I need to make an extra $100,000 in the next 90 days. And the only way I can do that is by helping enough other businesses like yourself. So, David, how many sources of income do you have? Now, the reason I ask is because the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Now, in 1960, a person could buy a bottle of Coke for 5 cents and a Rolls Royce for just under $14,000. So, when you consider inflation, to live the lifestyle of a middle-class family in 1960, you'd have to make between $180,000 on the low end and $1 million on the high end. So, $1 million is really not that much money. So by partnering up with us, you'll instantly have 7 streams of income and then some. How much better of a job of a father, husband, and provider could you be to your family with that kind of cash? David, the question of getting started is not if this is a perfect match for you, but whether you trust me enough at this point to get started. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to get started? And why did you pick instead of a lower number like? Now, money isn't everything. The only reason you're not ready to get started is trust. So in an effort to build your trust and faith that we can do the job for you, our sponsors are giving away a number of gifts and prizes as an incentive to get more people to do business with you. For example, we're giving away a free dinner movie for 2, as well as a chance to win $1 million in gifts and prizes. Now, David, if you were giving your customers all this, do you think that they would do business with you or your competitors? With you, of course. So I'll give you a call tomorrow and explain how that we're going to do this. Phone call number 4. Hi, is this David? Hey, David, this is Chris. We spoke yesterday. Now, if you recall from our last conversation, I told you we're investing a lot of money into the companies we decide to work with. Can you hear me okay? Now, David, we're giving away a number of gifts and prizes as an incentive to get more people to do business with you. Take, for instance, we're giving away a free dinner movie for 2, as well as a chance to win our dream car giveaway, as well as our dream home giveaway, vacations, and cash, all on behalf of our sponsors. Now, David, if you were giving your customers all this, do you think that they would do business with you or our competitors? With you, of course. Now, this is where things get really exciting. Now, David, if you hired somebody to, let's say, build your website, film your YouTube videos, write your newsletters, manage your social media, make phone calls on your behalf, setting up deals like this, and the $1 million in gifts and prizes as an incentive to get more people to do business with you, how much do you think the typical marketing company would charge you? Well, according to Yahoo Finance, who says if you hired somebody to do this as a job, that's a $250,000 a year job. Now, just out of curiosity, how much do you know about taxes, cash flow, investing, and raising business capital? Now, most people know what they do, however, they don't understand some of the other important parts of their business. Now, after working with a $400 million marketing firm developing marketing strategies for multi-billion-dollar companies, do you think working together, you and I can help you to become more profitable? Now, David, many times people don't have enough money to invest in their business because they don't trust themselves enough that they will make it work. Now, some years ago, I heard a story of this lady who sold her husband's Ferrari as revenge for his cheating. She just asked the buyer to pay for the title and some of the basic expenses. Now, let's say I could do the same for you. Do you think you could find a buyer for that Ferrari? And why do you believe that you could do that? Possibly because you sold a car before? Now, we work with a company that helps companies establish business credit, which costs between $3,000 to $5,000 to hire the consultants, set up the corporation, and some of the other expenses. And in 6 months, walk away with $250,000 in business credit. We have a video we emailed you, which we invested $250,000 in Facebook ads, which generated $1.2 million in 30 days. Now, David, do you have a family? Now, let's say a loved one was sick, and you needed $5,000 for medical treatment that insurance did not cover. You'd find a way to find the money, right? However, when it comes down to making money, they don't know enough about marketing, cash flow, and business credit to have enough confidence in themselves. Now, I want to help you to become more profitable so that investing $3,000 to $5,000 will not make you uncomfortable, and reinvest the money we help you make into building your business credit to really grow your profits. So, David, besides myself, who are you working with to enhance your profits? Again, most people never have the money to invest in their business because they don't trust themselves enough to make it work because they've never been trained to do it. Now, the true beauty of this project is anytime you have ever invested money to make more money, such as advertising, buying leads, and things of that sort, these things take work on your part. With us, we are doing 99% of the work for you because we are your business partners. Now, when everyone else is trying to sell you, they're trying to get as much as they can out of you, which is why they charge some of the ridiculous prices that some of these companies charge. We have an invested interest in you because the better you do, the better we do. Now, David, where can you go where they will make phone calls on your behalf, setting up deals like this, build your website, film your YouTube videos, and $1 million in gifts and prizes as an incentive to do business with you? Where can you go for that? Now, all that we ask is that you put in a small retainer just to cover some of the basic expenses and put some skin in the game. Now, David, anytime we put a project like what we've been talking about over the last couple of phone calls together, when we build a network of just 100 companies, this gives the average company we work with an extra $100,000 or $18 million for all 100 companies. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to get started? And why did you pick 8 instead of a lower number like it? Now, David, it's taken me 4 phone calls so far to explain what we're going to do for you. It's an impossible job to explain everything that we're going to do for you, which is why the best way to truly understand what we're going to do for you is to put it to the test. Now, if you recall from our last conversation, I told you Hardin Dental, in which we helped them do an extra $1 million in just 90 days. So next time, I'll explain more in depth how we did that and how we can help you do the same. So I'll give you a call tomorrow. Phone call number 5. Hi, is this David? Hey, David, this is Chris. We talked yesterday. Now, if you recall from our last conversation, I told you I was going to show you how we helped a family-owned business in Ohio make an extra $1 million in just 90 days. Can you hear me okay? Now, money isn't everything, is it? Let's say you did not have to worry about money, and is there someone you'd like to help? Now, one of my mentors recently wrote a check to charity for $1 million. My goal is not necessarily to get you more customers, but rather help you to become more profitable. Now, in a previous conversation, because of this business model, I told you I spent 3 years in Florida because I wanted to live my life like I was on vacation. I'd go to Disney World 3-4 times a week, and I'd spend a few days visiting different places around Florida every few weeks. Most people build a business for money. However, how would you describe your ideal lifestyle? Now, right now, I'm putting a project together to live in an 8,000 to 10,000 square foot Hollywood mansion, virtually rent-free. Now, how much have you spent on marketing over the past year? Now, there are dozens of companies that spend thousands on marketing each and every month. So, in the case of Heart and Dental, who was actively investing in advertising, we used the customers of several high-end beauty salons to add 3,200 new patients to their practice in just 90 days at an average of $2,000 per patient. Now, David, how many customers could you handle us sending you a month? Now, again, our goal is not necessarily to help you get more customers, but rather help you to become more profitable. Now, let's say you sold, iPhone covers and phone chargers on the internet, and you let Amazon take care of the shipping, fulfillment, and any customer service issues. How much time would that take away from what you're currently doing? It wouldn't take any time at all, would it? Now, David, there's a thing called as a reseller program, where for a couple $100, a company will give you a website, marketing tools, and handle your customer service issues. Now, the very first time I did this, I invested $200 in a fitness reseller program, and I was in business in less than 24 hours. I then had a 1-hour phone call with Joe Broughton, who sent out an email to his customer base, in which I did $14,100 in my first 6 hours in business. That business went on to produce $100,000 per month income. Now, David, if you recall from our last conversation, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So by partnering up with us, you'll instantly have 7 streams of income and then some. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to get started? And why did you pick a instead of a lower number like a? Now, money isn't everything. The only reason you're not ready to get started is trust. So in an effort to build your trust and faith that we can do the job for you, how much do you make on your days off? Now, next time, I'll show you how an electrician made $8,000 on his day off and how you can do the same. Close. Now, based upon what you just told me, it sounds like you're ready to get started. Am I right? Now, getting started is just a question of some very basic information. Now, if you recall, I told you I was not looking to sell you any advertising. However, we do ask that you put a small retainer just to cover some of the basic expenses, the software, labor, and put some skin in the game. Fair enough? Now, before you tell me yes or no, let me tell you what we're going to do for you. Now, if you go to ClickFunnels.com, the ClickFunnels software alone costs us $3,200 a year. However, we're paying this for you. Now, we normally charge $3,200. However, for the next 30 companies only, our investors are allowing you to get started for a one-time fee of just $597, or if you put it on a credit card, for just $25. Now, David, do you think working together as a team after helping the companies I've worked with do an estimated $500 million in revenue, do you think I can help you make at least $25 over the next month? Now, what address should we send your machinery to for your customer loyalty program? And David, would you prefer to use Visa, Master, or MasterCard to cover your retainer? Now, hang on one moment while I get this sent out to you. Now, Lisa will be contacting you to verify your information to set up your customer loyalty program. She's done a lot of work with the Small Business Administration and has a lot of helpful advice to help you out. Now, I'll contact you in a day or so, too, to make sure everything's going okay. Okay? Objections and resistance. Now, I don't expect you to make the investment if you don't have it. Now, let's say when Facebook bought Instagram, they gave you a lifetime sponsorship for just $597. Now, I know guys who invest $1,000 to $3,000 a day on Facebook ads. So, David, Why would a person that spent $5.97 for a lifetime sponsorship on Instagram had they offered that? Well, it's because people spend $1,000 to $3,000 a day on Facebook and are confident that they would repeat the success. Now, executives from companies like Procter & Gamble, Toyotas, and others were confident enough to make the investment in me because what I could do for them. I get it. You don't have the privilege of my reputation. I've done this enough times to know out of every 100 companies we work with, 6 of them will do an extra $1 million over the next 12 months. But you've never experienced what I can do for you for yourself. So let's review what we're going to do for you. Number 1, we'll be making phone calls in your behalf, putting a promotion like this together for you. Number 2, we're going to build your website, film your videos, and write your newsletters. Number 3, I'll give you 40 hours each month doing your digital marketing. Number 4, we have a customer loyalty program. We have loyalty cards and mobile apps. And number 5, we'll promote you to our entire network of buyers. And number 6, we have a profit sharing model, which you'll earn 50% of the profits. And number 7, our sponsors are giving away $1 million in gifts and prizes as an incentive to get more people to do business with you. Now, David, who is just one person who will do all this for just $5.97? Now, GrantCardone.com charges $8,000 per employee. MobeMTB program, who only works with digital companies, charges $25,000. So it would be an impossible job to explain everything that we're going to do for you. However, what is the worst thing that can happen? Let's say I prove to be an incompetent fool. What is the worst thing that could happen? Is $5.97 going to really put you in the poorhouse? But on the flip side, let's say that you're one of the many companies that we've helped make an extra $1 million over my career. Just imagine what your life will be like 1 year from now. Now, David, would you prefer to use a Visa or MasterCard to cover your retainer?